Guam's cyber attack vulnerability was spotlighted when the New York Times reported earlier this year that a Chinese government-backed hacking group known as Volt Typhoon had managed to penetrate local systems. Which systems were never disclosed, but the Times reported that it was, quote, particularly alarming to U.S. intelligence because Guam sits at the heart of an American military response in case of an invasion of Taiwan. The report suggests that China's first anticipated moves would be to cut off American communications, slowing the ability to respond, and that Guam would be a particular target as the launching point for Air Force missions to defend Taiwan. It's under this backdrop that Guam's been working on the island-wide cybersecurity plan. Homeland Security Advisor Esther Agagi.
The majority of the plan that we have is going to focus on training and education, building our network, building sustainability, building our workforce before we can proceed with any other factor in that plan. Like anything, we have to start somewhere. And right now, I think an objective would be to build and sustain our cyber readiness, look at our resources that are available to us, but it's going to come at a pretty penny.
The DHS Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency provided $1.5 million in initial funding, but as Agigi suggests, it's just a drop in the bucket. GovGuam systems continue to be vulnerable. An example came earlier this year when the hospital had to shut down its entire system for about a week after it discovered multiple intrusions. But GMH Administrator Lillian Posadas insists there was no harm, no foul.
Given the totality of the evidence, there is a low probability that protected health information held by GMHA was compromised, and there was no evidence that patient or employee financial or biographical data was compromised.
And Office of Technology Chief Frank Lujan adds that GovGuam's network alert system is able to immediately track and stop intrusions, although they don't have the capacity to know how and why they occurred.
The good news overall is these breaches, none of these breaches were able to penetrate any of our data. They were just recognized signatures by our sensors, and we were able to stop it so that it couldn't actually travel throughout our network.
Meanwhile, OTEC cybersecurity analyst Victoria Foreman says the key is to now establish a baseline that will determine where best to invest any future funding. And the best news might be is that Washington is keen to help.
DoD's INDOPACOM, their cyber incident response team, that's going to be helping kind of like move us a little bit faster along the way. What we don't want to do is we don't want to keep rushing and skipping steps, because cybersecurity is expensive, we don't want to have to kind of like say, oh no, we're here. We thought we were really, well prepared, and then when we start going back, we see more gaps.
Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.